Good morning, students. From today we'll begin with our next unit that is called Genetics and Evolution. This unit consists of 3 chapters. Chapter 5, Principle of Inheritance and Variation. We are going to study what is the principle behind the inheritance and variation. And in chapter 6, that is molecular basis of inheritance, we are going to study in detail of the DNA, RNA and the transcription, translation, replication process. And it is chapter 4 called Evolution. How humans and other organisms got evolved. So now let's begin with the weightage of this unit is about 25 marks. So now let's begin with the genetics. Let's understand what is genetics. It's a branch of biology that deals with the heredity and variations of organism. It's a branch of biology which will deal where we are going to study regarding the heredity and also the variations which are seen in the organism. I'm going to tell you what is this heredity and variation further, but genetics is branch of that biology where we are going to study the inheritance and variations. Next, it is the father of genetics, Gregor John Mendel. Gregor John Mendel, who was born on July 22nd, 1822. He is referred as father of genetics, and he started his research career in 1854, and he worked on Garden P. That scientific name of this is Piscum sativum. So here he has started working from 1856 to 1863. It is he has worked for almost 7 years on the Garden P, where he proposed the inheritance pattern, how this inheritance is happening and what is that responsible for this inheritance, and he has proposed the Mendelian law of inheritance. But his work went unrecognized. There are so many reasons for not being recognized his work. We'll discuss that, but here it is in 1900, that is almost 16 years after the death of Mendelian. It is 16 years after the death of Mendelian, his work was recognized by 3 scientists called Hugo de Virus, Coren and Schermak. Clear? So these 3 scientists, after the death of Mendelian, they recognized this work. So now let us see the reason for not being recognized the Mendelian work. See, when Mendelian conducted his work, the work was not properly published. Now we have so many medias. As soon as we innovate something, there are a lot of means to publish it. It might be the print media, audio media, we have social networking, so we have a proper authorization. So now the communication has been very simple and easy, fast. But during that period, the work which was performed by Mendelian, they were not published properly. It didn't reach the people properly, right? One thing. And second thing, Mendelian being mathematician, he explained the biology using the statistic and maths logic, which was not accepted by many biologists. See, he himself was a mathematician, but this was a first time somebody used these statistics and mathematical logical in order to explain the biology concept. And many people, they didn't agree with this. How can a biology concept solved with the numerical numbers? So it was not being accepted. And next is Mendelian explained factor at that time. See, he was talking of factors. He was saying that the factor were responsible for inheritance and this is how it happens and so on. But for that period of time, it was not understood. The concept was not understood by the people. They found it very strange. Good. So these were all some of the reason why the Mendelian work failed, or the Mendelian work was not being recognized. Only after death Again, when these three scientists explained the concept properly, they got to know what Mendelian has done, and now we call these factors as gene. We'll see that later. So now let's begin with the chapter, that is chapter 5, Principle of Inheritance and Variation. This is one of the important chapter, and most of students get confused with this chapter. See, you can expect 2 marks 1 question, 3 marks 1 question, 5 marks 1 questions. Totally you might get 10 marks from this chapter. Clear? So now, principle of inheritance and variation. We are trying to know what is the principle behind the inheritance concept and what is the principle behind the variation. Before that, we should understand what do you mean by inheritance and variation. So inheritance, here it is transmission of trait or property, anything from one generation to another is called as inheritance. See here what happens, a child, when it was born, we simply say that the mouth or a nose resemble father, eye resemble mother, hair resemble the father, and so on like that. Now, how is that child getting those characters? From where did it got all those resembling characters? It is from its parents or from the previous generation. So those a transmission of a trait, or you can say a transmission of a characters, anything from one generation to another, you call it as inheritance. The characters which you are getting from your parents to the offspring are called as inheritance. Now, what do you mean by heredity? It is a transmission of trait from parents or ancestors to offspring. Here also it means the same. Character has been passed from parents. Sometimes, see, this is a parent, give rises to offspring, and these offspring after it grow, they will also give rises to their offspring. So there is something which is flowing from this generation to this and from here to here. So transmission of a trait from parents to offspring or from their ancestors to the offspring. So this will be the ancestor of this, right, previous thing. So anything which is transferring like this, you call it as heredity. Now, variation. See, when you can see when offspring is born to this parent, do this offspring 100% resemble to the parents? No. It may resemble few characters or it may not resemble some of the characters. There is some changes. So that minor differences among the individual of same species are offspring of the same parent, you call it as variation. Suppose there are parent, now this parent have 2 kids, 1 and 2. Will you expect the same character in these 2? Or will these 2 have 100% resemble with the parent? To first child and to the second child, there are many changes, variation scenes. So even that is also called as variation. The minor differences among the individual of same species or offspring of same parent, you call it as variation. Now variation can happen for 2 reasons. One, it is the hereditary variation, and one more is environmental variation. See, some variations are purely because of the environmental where we are going to stay, and those are acquired during the lifetime. The changes is because of the environmental condition. Therefore, such variation is called as environmental variations. And there are some changes which we are getting from the parents, we are getting from, they are inherited. They are inherited. Those are called as hereditary variation. And this is very much important for evolution to happen. If there is no variation, there is no evolution at all. Clear? We'll see all that. You'll understand it further. But for now, you should understand what do you mean by inheritance. That is a transmission of a trait from one generation to another generation. Something when something is transferred from one generation to another generation, you call it as inheritance. And variation is when you see the difference from one generation to another generation. The small differences which are seen from generation to generation are called variation. Clear? So before going into the chapter, it is very important for you to understand certain terminologies. Clear? So let us see what are those. Gene. So now we will use that word gene throughout this chapter. Understand what is gene. It's a functional unit of inheritance. The term gene was coined by Johnson, and originally it was called as factor by Mendelian. That is what I told you in this thing. Initially, here I told you, initially the Mendelian explained about the factor, and these factors are now called as gene. Functional unit of inheritance. See, the inheritance is mainly because of the gene. Let us understand this way. Suppose this is a parent. The parent who is having a blue eye. Okay. And this parent has a offspring. Now the offspring is also having the blue eye. But the parental body is different. The offspring body is different. Then how is this character, that's a blue eye, has been got from parents to offspring? How they have been inherited to the offspring? Here that is nothing but the gene. The gene which will code for the blue eye, which was present in the parent, has been inherited to the offspring. That is why when these genes get expressed in the offspring, this offspring will also have the blue eye. So it's a gene which is been transferring from parents to the offspring. How is this gene transferred? These genes are present on the chromosomes. The genes are present on chromosome. And we know that in the sexual reproduction, what happens? There will be the sperm and there is a egg. So sperm will have how many chromosomes? Since the sperms are haploid in nature. If I say humans are diploid, meaning here they will have two sets of chromosome. Therefore, they will have 23 pair of chromosome. I can say 23 pair, or I can say 46 chromosome. Both are same. I can say 46 chromosome or 23 pair, because these 46 chromosomes will occur in pair. Therefore, 2 will form one pair. You get 23 pair. Now, in the sperm what happens? How many chromosomes? Since haploid meaning you will have 46. 2n is 46. N will be half of this. That is, they will have only 23 chromosome. Similarly, egg will also have 23 chromosome. Out of these 23 chromosome, there is 22 autosomes and one will be the sex chromosome. Either it will be X or it will be Y. In case of egg, it is 22 autosome plus 1 sex chromosome. I hope you know what do you mean by autosomes and holosomes. We'll come back here. See, I told you there is 46 chromosome. See, these are all basic, you should know. Out of 46 chromosome, 44 are autosomes. And it has only 2 are called as halosome, or you can also call them as the sex chromosome. These 44, what you can see here, if this is in individually, I am telling 46. If I tell in terms of pair, it is 23 pair, meaning here 22 are autosome and remaining 1 is the halosome. Am I confusing or it is clear? 46 or you can say 23 pair, 44 are autosomes and 2 are called halosomes and sex chromosome. See why we call it as a sex chromosome, because these are the one which is going to decide the sex of the offspring or the fetus. Therefore they are called as sex chromosome. And leaving these two, remaining all chromosomes are called as autosomes. They will carry the gene which are responsible for giving the hair color, or it might be the eye color, or it might be the shape or growth. All that characters are present on this autosomes. Clear? Now coming back to this, when the offsprings are formed, we know that as by fusion of sperm and egg, the offsprings are formed. Fusion meaning what? Here, this will fuse with this. Therefore, 22 autosomes from, it is getting from father. This is the father. And this will be the mother. So, 22, it is getting 22 autosome plus father will have two types of sperm. I told you some sperm will carry X and some will carry Y. Let us imagine it is now the sperm which is carrying the X chromosome. It will fuse with the egg. That is, again it is fusing with this egg. And now what is that? 22 plus 22, it is 44 autosome plus it is X and X as a sex chromosome. Now this is the offspring. See, when the gametes here, the chromosomes are coming from here, 23 we have got from the father and remaining 23 chromosomes. Now totally how much it is having? It has 44, 45, 46. Totally it is having, the offspring is having 46 chromosome. Out of 46 chromosome, 23 is coming from the father, another 23 is coming from the mother. When these 23 chromosomes comes from the father, all the genes which are present on this chromosome, there are, see, on all 44 chromosomes, there are several genes which are located. When the chromosomes are coming from father or a mother to the child, along with the chromosome, they will also bring the gene. Clear? So understand this. So it is a gene which is going to get transferred from parents to offspring. These are the functional unit of inheritance. The inheritance is mainly because of the presence of the gene. And where are these genes present? They are present on the chromosome. Now, let us see what do you mean by locus now. I will take a little later. I'll explain you what is locus. I told you, if this is a chromosome, this is a chromosome. Genes are located on the chromosome. Here, this is a chromosome. For example, this part of the chromosome here is one gene. This you call it as the gene 1. And this is responsible for hair color. Clear? And similarly, there is one more, this part of the chromosome, this a small segment of the chromosomes. Here we can see this is another gene. This will be gene 2, and this is responsible for eye color. Similarly, there is one more again. This might be one more gene, and you call it as a gene 3, and this might be responsible for giving the eye shape. Like this, I have written only 3 genes, but there are thousands of genes located on the chromosomes which are responsible for particular character. Now, the place, the position, the specific location on the chromosome where genes are or alleles are present are called as locus. Now here if you see, entire thing you call it as chromosome, and only this part of the chromosome here, which is where we can see one gene which is giving some character. So this position and this position here. Now I can say if there are 3 genes, meaning what? There are 3 locus on this chromosome. the location where the genes are present are called as locus. And genes are part of the chromosome. This is a small segment. This is nothing but the region or a part of the chromosome. Clear? One, it is gene, and second thing I explained you regarding the locus. Now, let us see what is homologous chromosome. Homologous chromosome. So here I told you always chromosome exist in a pair. They exist in a pair. One chromosome here out of, say, 23 is coming from 1 and 23 is coming from the 2. So suppose there is a one chromosome here. I will name it as first chromosome, which is present in the father. Out of 23, one chromosome is coming from father, meaning one more will be coming from the mother. Both of them will join together. Now you call them as a pair here. Again, it has 46 chromosome, right? Out of how 46 are formed? We are getting 23 from father, another 23 from mother. Both of them join together to form 46 chromosome. Now what happens when the first chromosome of this come? It will pair with the first chromosome of the mother. It forms a pairing like this. Then one more chromosomes from father will pair with one more chromosome of a mother. It will pair and form the second pair. Like this, totally 23 pairs are formed. And now these two chromosomes are called as homologous chromosome. These are a pair of identical chromosome. They are same chromosomes, of which one chromosome is coming from maternal and one more from the paternal. Why I am telling you identical? Because these two are same size. The size is same. Suppose if there is a gene which will code for hair color, here also there is a gene which will code for the hair color only. At the exact location where it is found here also on the same location only the gene is present, and both of them are responsible for hair color. And such chromosomes are called as homologous chromosome. They are identical, both are same. They are just the like a replica. If there is a gene here, here also you can find a gene. If there is gene here, here also you will have the gene. Here one gene, here one gene, like that. On a same location you will have the gene. Okay, so now these are identical chromosomes where one is coming from mother and one more is coming from the paternal. One from the father, one from the mother. You call them as homologous condition. Now let us understand what is allele. Understand what are alleles. These are forms of gene. Then alternative forms of gene. Alternative forms of a gene. See, sometimes what happens, here there is a gene 1 responsible for hair color. Hair color, I am not given any particular color. I have told you hair color. Hair color can be black, or it can be brown, or it can be somewhat brownish, very dark brownish, light brownish. Or eye color again, eye shape or eye color again. The eye color may be black, blue, brown, whatever. Clear? Now, alternative form meaning, again we'll take, this is a mother and this one is a chromosome in a mother. And here we have a gene for eye color and the mother eye is blue. There is father, same, has a chromosome, and here there is a gene for eye color. There is no, here the color is not blue, it can be black also. Can be black also. Clear? Therefore, when offspring is formed, the offspring eye color can be either blue or it is black, or it can be different from the parents also. It can be different color other than blue and black. It can be a different color also. For a gene, if I say one gene, if I represent eye color, and if I give some instead of giving gene number 1, I will tell it as gene A, which is coding for a eye color. And now it will have two alternative form. That is, I will write capital B as a black, and there will be one more form called small b, which is contrast to this. Contrast, it can be brown or blue. Read the definition given here. Alleles are the alternative forms of a gene. A pair of gene controlling a pair of contrasting character is called allele. If there is one character controlled by one gene, one character is controlled by one gene, since it will be useful in the Mendelian law, I will take that character is the height of the plant, is the character. It is controlled by some gene. One gene, it is controlled by one gene. Now, if I say height of the plant, tall is also referring to the height of the plant. If I say it is short meaning it is also height of the plant only. If I say one plant is tall, meaning what I am talking of regarding the height. If I say plant is short, there also I am talking of the height. So here, but these two are not same. These two are regarding the height of the plant only, but these two are called as contrasting character. Contrasting character. Both are one character only. Both are telling about the height of the plant, but these two are the opposite, contrasting character. One is tall, one is short. So now if I say tall is represented by capital T, and small, that is a short, will be represented by small t. It is not S. Since to avoid confusion, we have given such way. If tall is capital T, opposite to that will be the small t. It means nothing but short. So these two are the contrasting character here. And these two, capital T and small t, what we have written, these are called as allele. One gene will have two allele. Understand this much. One gene is being controlled by two allele. Here the two alleles are capital T is one allele and small t is another allele. Both of them will decide the this character, height of the plant. Now moving on, homozygous condition and heterozygous condition. Homozygous, when we call it as homozygous, is when there are similar gene on homologous chromosome with respect to character, or both allele on the chromosome, homologous chromosome, are homozygous or identical. See here, there is one chromosome. Suppose this is a gene here. It is showing the one allele, that is capital T. On the other side, here it is having a gene which is showing capital T only. That time you call, when the condition, when both the alleles on the homologous chromosomes are same, here you can find same, here also it's capital T, here also it is capital T. That time you call it as homozygous. when there are similar gene on the homologous chromosome. Here you can see this is one chromosome, there's another chromosome. Here at this position there is a gene which is responsible for giving the height to the plant. On the other side you can see exactly on the same location there is also a gene which is again responsible for giving the height of the plant. I told you one gene will have two allele. The two allele may be, one is capital T and one more is small t. The possible way is this capital T, the two allele here out of this, the possible way is here also it can be capital T and on the other side also it can be capital T, is one possibility. The second possibility is here also it is small t, on the other side also it is a small t. And the third possibility is one side it is capital T and one more side is small t. Only these are the possible way for the alleles to get arranged on the homologous chromosome. Clear? Now these two conditions are called as homozygous condition because you are finding same allele on the chromosome. Here also it has same chromosomes on the two chromosomes. That is also, these two you call it as homozygous condition. Only this one is called as heterozygous condition because here there are two different allele on the homologous chromosome. This homologous chromosome is having small t and this homologous chromosome is having the capital T. Such is called as heterozygous condition. And moving on to the phenotype. See, phenotypic meaning physical appearance of an organism. As soon as you see that organism, what is a physical appearance? That is called as the phenotype of that organism. As soon as you see a plant, what all you can observe? Number of leaf, color, shapes, flower color, all that which you can see, which are visible, are called as phenotypic appearance of an organism. And genotypic meaning it is a genetic makeup of an individual. We are talking regarding the gene. It is internal. You cannot see them. They are not externally seen. Internal characters are called as genotype of an organism. If I say cross meaning we are breeding between two plants. That is called as a cross. And filial is the next generation. See, once the parents have been fused here, there is parent 1 and parent 2. They are fused to get the offspring. Now this one you call it as F1 generation. Now this has been combined with one more individual and these two will give rises to the next offspring, and this is the F2 generation, second generation, this is first generation, and similarly this will be fused with one more and they result in one more offspring, and this will become my third generation. F1, F2, F3, like this we have to, the generation we are representing in F. So these are all some important terminologies which you have to understand. This will be more clear as soon as you get the concepts. Clear? So please go through the all whatever I have told you. Very important. Terminologies are very important. We'll continue in the next class. We will see what the Mendelian laws of inheritance, and before to that we should also see Mendelian. I told you Mendelian selected Garden P for his research. So what are the reason for selecting the Garden P, and by studying for so many years, what is the law which he has given, what he has suggested? We'll see in the further classes.